Hey, what's up everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so this is when having two phones really kick in. I'm able to do a video on the other phone. The charge is like at 90 something. And I depleted the other one all the way down to 21, so we'll be able to do a video on it. It's probably not going to upload till tomorrow. Pretty much that's how long it takes for videos to upload with this phone. But I don't really care. It won't be time sensitive. But yeah, I took care of some most important stuff. My uncle's in town. I was able to hang out with him a little bit. Didn't have that as a plan, to be honest with you. I thought we were going to take care of some of the stuff that we took care of today, tomorrow. So, as a result, it looks like I'll be able to watch the game, believe it or not. I should be home for a 3 o'clock game. And now, something that was an inconvenience becomes a very convenient thing. Because the game is at 3 o'clock, I can watch the game and not have to go pick up my suit, which is being hemmed in Hollywood, until after 6 o'clock. So if the game would have started like I wanted it to start, now suddenly it would have been a problem for me to miss the game. But since it starts early, the way this is structured out, now I can watch the game and then probably just leave out as soon as the game's over and do my my reaction video as I'm walking to the train station. So that's probably how that's going to end up going, unless it goes overtime. But it takes an hour from there to the train station, so even if it goes overtime, I should probably still be able to do a reaction before getting on the train, if I have to watch a little bit of the game walking down the street. But like, he seemed like he was reluctant, the guy who has to send him the suit seemed like he was reluctant to even be ready tomorrow. So there's a damn good chance that I might not be picking the suit up until after 7 p.m., 8 o'clock at night, as to which that really allows me an opportunity to watch the game. So this worked out very conveniently for me. We got the suit picked out today, and I'm carrying my shoes, and we got everything that I need to have me suited and booted for my grandfather's funeral. It's a nice suit, regular navy suit. Got black shoes, like a navy polka dot tie. It's not polka dot, but it's like pin dot, I guess you could say, tie, navy and white, and then the shirt's black. So I think it looks good. I didn't try it all on at once, but it looks like it's gonna be all right. So I'm thrilled with the way this turned out. I thought I was gonna have to shop for a suit around 3 o'clock tomorrow, but it made a lot more sense to get that done today, since it's gonna take time for them to fit the suit and hem it up and all of that. So that's why taking care of it was so important. So I ended up meeting up with my uncle at Target. While on my way to Target, he calls me and said he's in town. Let's go take care of that. I'm like, I thought we were gonna do that tomorrow. But it all worked out. We took care of it today. So I was very, very pleased about that. When we went to Hollywood Suit Outlet, and it wasn't cheap at all, but it was a deal on the suit, so we took care of it. And very thankful that my uncle was able to help me with so much he's forking over helping me out, man. It ain't even funny how much he spent on me today alone. I just want to thank him for that. And we're gonna represent my grandfather right. I will be there in the flesh. It's the only way to do it, I know there are going to be a lot of people who are going to watch it via the telestream, because we're having it streamed, but I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going up there and I'm going to represent. I'm going to be a pallbearer for my grandfather, my mother's father. That's how it has to be, and that's the only way I would do it. So I'm glad we were able to take care of that. I was really worried about what I was going to be wearing, because the shoes that I got is a problem. The slacks I could have got clean. I got a tie that's similar to this one. I got a black shirt that could have been used, but it was all inclusive with the suit, so it wasn't no need for us to forego that stuff. You have to pay for it anyway. So that's why I bought all that new stuff. But the jacket, the pants, that was something, and the shoes were necessary, very necessary. And so I wish I would have kept my old shoes that I wore to my mom's funeral. But when I took all my stuff out of Lenox, it didn't make any sense to keep all of that. And I didn't need to wear it until now. So it's been, it would have been helpful if I had it, but it wouldn't have been helpful to try to carry it. And that's still going to be an issue with the suit that I have right now. Now I'm adding more to that needs to be carried around. So maybe I can have my boy T put it in storage, the suit and these shoes, but it's going to be a severe inconvenience to carry that stuff around. But I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. It's not the most important thing to me to think about right now. The most important thing is that I have the suit. Have it. Then we'll worry about how we're going to move it around. So praise God for family that is able to help me out. And I look forward to honoring them with my presence. And let God handle the rest. But I'm very thankful how this all turned out, man. I said a prayer this morning. I'm like, look, I'm ready to sacrifice this game, no problem. But it would be absolutely wonderful if I don't have to. That's what, because at the end of the day, I really do want to be consistent with what it is I do. I ain't missed a game in years, with the exception of that Golden State game, which I only missed because I was living at the hostel that's actually down the street from where I'm at right now, for that one night. And so, given the fact that that was the case, it was very important that I just missed that game, even though I actually watched it, but I couldn't do any recording for it. So that's really what it was. I watched the game, but I didn't get a chance to record. So, like, this one would have been a situation where I missed the game, and I don't mind for what my grandfather's meant to me and what my uncle means to me and our family in Fresno. To make sure I'm fitted properly, I would have had no problem doing it. But if it ain't necessary, boy, is that a blessing. I got a streak going, a consistency going, and I love doing it. I don't want to push it off on the people who follow me. Like, yo, they're waiting on me to do a video. Nah, I want to do it. You know what I mean? Like, I do it for you guys. I do it for me. But I'm not going to say that I'm saying, oh, family, please allow me to do this because my people are waiting on me. Nah, that's not the mentality. I want to do this for ourselves, for the team, for myself. That's really what it is. So that's really what it's about, man. I just thank God that I will be able to at least watch a good majority of the game unless something weird happens. Like the Memphis game where they called 1 million fouls and it made the game go 3 hours. That will probably push it. If the game starts at 3 and that game goes past 6:15, now we got a problem. But that literally never happens except for that one time, which is something I don't expect to see happen tomorrow. So I'm very pleased that I'll be able to at least watch the majority of the game at home and then probably watch the rest on the road if it gets weird in overtime or something like that. But basketball, you never know, man. You never know. After watching basketball my entire life, I can legitimately tell you every once in a while a game will go into triple or quadruple overtime. It's happened before. And precedents are set every day, B. For all I know, tomorrow will be the first quadruple, the 6 overtimes. Like, you never know. Things like that are literally possible. So, I hope not, but, that's always a possibility when you're talking about NBA basketball. So, yeah, man, aside from that, everything's good. My uncle seemed like he's in really good spirits. We're settling in. My grandfather officially was 96 years of age when he passed. So that's a heck of a long life, almost 100 years old, and that's a real blessing, man. The guy who hemmed up my suit just now, he's also going through something. He lost his son's mom. They buried her today. So I was like, wow, man, you worked right through that. He's like, yeah, I worked right through it. Damn. You know what I mean? I don't know the situation. It didn't sound like that was his wife, but it's his son's mom. So that's tough. That's tough in and of itself. So prayers out to Alex, who's hemming up my suit right now, man. We know what you're going through, brother. We're dealing with our own thing, but it is what it is, man. The holidays, it's just rough to lose people in the holidays, and that's exactly what we're going through here with the family. So we just keep it pushing. It brings us together on the holidays. That's the reality of it. My uncle's going to be home for the holidays, as to which, if my grandfather were still around, that would not necessarily be possible for him to be in California for the holidays. He loves being in California for Christmas. So under better circumstances, he would love to, but with my grandfather's condition as it's been, he hasn't been able to come home. You can't leave him unattended like that, or leave him with his wife like that. So, with this being the case, now my uncle can get back to moving around the way he would ultimately do if my grandfather was still at home by himself. So, it's an adjustment. It's not something that you want. You would prefer to still take care of your dad if you're my uncle. But, the Lord has his own thing. You can see that with the timing. The Lakers don't have another 3 o'clock game at all this entire season. And the way that this structured out so that I can see it is kind of fortuitous. It's just like I was telling you guys in regards to my therapist calling me right after I called her office. Like, I've just been doing a lot of meditating and a lot of praying. And it is not really a surprise to me that this shook out the way that it did. It's not really a surprise to me. I'm very thankful. But these are the type of things that are testimony to tell you guys that all this praying I've been doing, this game is structured at the right time for me to be able to watch it. Like, if that ain't a blessing, I don't know what is. It's the only game at 3 o'clock the whole season. And it didn't look like it made any sense for me to be thinking that I could see this game based on what I have going on. But because we went when we went, and because we went where we went, it's now going to be available after the game is. Just like, if that ain't God, I don't know what is. I really don't know. There's a lot of things that can happen between now and then that can shake things from here, but just that it lines up this way, it looks like it can go that way, it's something I really appreciate, man. So, and look, I'll say something else. I'm walking past one of my favorite fast food joints, In-N-Out Burger. I don't go here anymore because I understand them to be a supporter of Israel. It's a lot of things that I've boycotted in the name of this situation in Gaza. And I'm going to be honest with you. I think that there's something honorable about that. There's something that I think comes from the universe when you do things for the right reasons. Even if you're mistaken or if you're not mistaken, if you're doing things for the right reasons, God knows your heart. God knows what you're trying to do and why you're doing it. I think he rewards you, man. I think there's somewhere in the world, there's a reward for sacrifice. Whatever that looks like, for the betterment of good things, for the betterment of someone else. Sacrifice. I think about how my uncle is doing all of this for me. There has to be some good things coming his way for the sacrifice and not only helping myself, but everyone else he does, for which he does a lot for a lot of people all the time. And so that should give him the blessings from the universe coming down to help him throughout the course of his life in whatever ways the Lord would provide. And that example shows me that my sacrifices, whatever it is I do, whatever way I do it, should yield the results necessary to be pleased with. So that's what I'm telling y'all, man. Not to say that I'm super over deserving of so many great things, but when I look at what I've been trying to do these last year or so, and paying attention to what's going on there, and then trying to stand in solidarity with the people who are suffering, that's when I realize, when things line up like they have this way, part of me feels like it's the big guy shining down on my head saying, you know what? I see what you're trying to do. I know the motivation behind what you're doing, and I support you. And so that's how I look at it. That's how I appreciate being a believer, because it allows you to look at the world this way as you live your life. And it's real hard in life to get through situations like this. That you're going through, you lose a family member, or you're watching something terrible happen in the world, you don't know what to do. It's not easy, but God will make a way, especially if you're intending on trying to help him do so. And so that's what I'm trying to do with my channel. That's what I'm trying to do with my intentions. Raise awareness, withhold dollars from where it needs to be withheld. Stay clean and sober, which is, I think, a representation of who it is that my family and my grandfather would prefer I be. And take it a day at a time. So that's really what I want to say. I'm not here to pat myself on the back, but I am acknowledging that there are things that I've been trying to do that I'm very proud of, and I feel like the Lord may be too. He may be. So that's really what it's about, man. I've been shown how to do it right by great people behind me and around me who've not only talked the talk, but they've walked that walk, being unselfish. And I don't know what the future holds for myself, or if God wants me to succeed in the ways that I would ultimately dream, or whatever that. But throughout the course of my life, when timing moments like this would line up, I feel like that's good too. That's good enough. So that's what I'm saying to all of y'all, man. But you know, if anything, I just feel like my grandfather is now one of my guardian angels. You know, I don't know that he was a very spiritual person. I know he got close to God on the end. I know that. You know, he definitely was a believer. And now he's in that realm of the spiritual that I think is a beautiful thing if you're up for it. You know, I don't know nothing about spirituality or this, that, and the third, but when I think of how much my grandfather loved his family, I can only imagine that he would want to watch over myself and my uncle and his brother as well, Uncle Merle, now that he's in the afterlife, now that he has the understanding of the secrets and, you know, gained his wings. I think he would want, if I know him, he would want nothing more than to stand on guard over his family. That's what I think, man. That's how I like to look at it. You never know what the Lord has planned for us in the afterlife, or if there is an afterlife. You know, we all believe whatever we believe, but nobody knows for certain. But you know, I think it's noteworthy to say that my grandfather came to me in a dream before he passed away. I think I told you guys this already, maybe about 3 weeks ago. I had never seen him in a dream. I seen everybody in a dream, but I ain't never seen him in a dream until then. And that's when I believe I knew that he was pretty much on the, you know, getting ready to go see the Lord. That's when I thought maybe I had lost him that night. You know what I mean? I really thought that, but he was still around. In fact, I think I may have heard his voice after that dream. I think he might have been able to chime in with us on a Bible study once more after that. But, you know, the point is, I was able to see him there, man. And, you know, that was important for me as his grandson. You know, I think my mother was a very spiritual person. My Aunt Cheryl was. My grandmother, Maddie, might have been very spiritual. But I don't know that my uncle and my grandfather really are like that. But they're believers. But I don't know that they're in touch or in tune with some of that supernatural stuff that maybe some of the others in the family may have some relationship with. Like myself, there's so much aligned with me in this spiritual realm. I'm probably more of a spiritual being than I am a physical one, if I'm being completely honest with everybody. And if I'd have lived a more pure life, I'd probably be more in touch with that. But I've seen so many ghosts. I've seen so much weird stuff in my life. I've seen through my third eye more than once. Yeah, like for me, it's like that all that weird stuff. I'm very much on that frequency at times. But there are people that I know that are not. You know, they're believers. They believe in God, but they don't know like that. They've never had those type of experiences. That's not what the Lord put them on this earth to do or to feel or whatever. And I respect that. Sometimes those people are a lot better human beings than myself. You know what I mean? You know, not being all in touch with all that spirituality, and I don't mean that you're not a great human being. Some of the people who I feel may not have all those spiritual things going on are some of the most unselfish, some of the more empathetic human beings, willing to help people. Like, I want people to understand my perception of spiritual people. Sometimes as I grew and listening to people, it's like, oh, we're the one that people who are like that are in touch with something and they're better human beings, or they're more powerful. Not in my life. I see some of the more people who are more close to the earth, more close to the reality of things, have shown me the greatest example of how to be more like the Lord and would want me to be, if I'm being completely honest with you. But, that's what it is, man. My grandfather's in that realm, and I would love to know what he knows, man. I would love to know what he's discovered. I'd love to see his face when he sees certain things, that he didn't know. Yeah, that's what I think I look forward to in the afterlife. Maybe we dread it just the same depending on what's revealed, but truth, assuming that would be revealed to us, truth and understanding of what is actually going on in certain situations, concepts that you don't know, secrets and all of that. That's the kind of stuff that I think, though it will not matter since you won't return to the earth, I think that stuff probably matters more to people who are alive. It would still be kind of cool to have answers when you die. So that's what I'd like to think it's going to be. It's a whole lot of answers. So I don't know, man. I just think at the end of the day, you know, we just live our lives the best we can. Care about the people around us. Care about strangers where you're able to. Not everybody's empathetic like that. You know, not everybody knows how to be unselfish. Not everybody's taught how to be caring. But you know, I think of myself as a selfish human being who's aware of the concept of honoring unselfishness. And because I'm aware of that concept, I look and seek out opportunities to learn of the ways of being unselfish. That's how I perceive myself. I ain't unselfish at all. I was raised to be spoiled and to receive and to take. Not necessarily steal, but to receive. Raised to, you know, you're given, thank you. You know, and you have to learn how to be more of a sharer, someone who shares, someone who is giving, you know. That don't come naturally to me. And as I was meditating on something this morning, I was thinking about some of the decisions I made, mistakes I made in that vein, just because I wasn't as intelligent in that way. Some people call it emotional intelligence. I don't know if that's what this zeroes in on, is the emotional aspect of it, but it's got to be somewhere in that ballpark. To where sometimes I would move impulsively in ways that had good intentions, but didn't take into account what was preferred of me or what would ultimately be respected. It was just, I got good intentions, I want to move, and I'm going to satisfy my own urge to move, and I think I'm doing something you would like. There was a lot of that going on in my perception of self as I look back. I remember that time I gave the girl those flowers at my job. That wasn't received well. It was a stupid decision, but it was impulsive, and I felt the desire to. I wanted to do it. Yeah, it was done for her, but it was really to satisfy myself. It made me at peace with my urge to do whatever I was choosing to do. And if it happened to be received as a positive thing, it made me feel good to think that it would be. But whether it was or it wasn't, I was going to go forward with it regardless. Those are things that come naturally to me. Those are things I'm looking to evolve through. The urge to do certain things that I have no business doing, that may have good intentions, but may not be well thought out or executed properly. And as I grow older, I just understand that there's a notion, at least the idea that, some of these things, they may not be for the betterment of the person you want to do these things for. Maybe they won't receive it. Maybe it's not the right setting. Maybe it's not the right time. Maybe I'm creating confusion. Maybe I'm not considering certain things and I don't know enough to know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. But that's an area of growth for myself. And I'm starting to see the understanding that that's for me to really embody as I go forward. And I reflect on that type of selfishness. You know, to do things for others that will be received in a way that they can appreciate. Not in a way that's going to embarrass them or compromise their working situation, or, you know what I mean? These type of things. Like even when I was a young man with my ex-girlfriend, getting frustrated with her because she would prioritize her future and what she needed to do for herself in regards to her internship and all the things that she was trying to accomplish in her life. I would feel frustrated because she wouldn't sacrifice some of that for me. Complete and utter selfishness. Definitely not the right type of human being. But that's where I was at 25 years old. Selfish, self-centered, intentional on having good times with her. If she would have spent time with me, I perceived that my energy would have been welcoming to her in whatever way I had in mind. But that she would forego that. It was like she was doing something to me instead of being understanding that this is something that's good for her. And if I want for her, I should want for her what she wants for her. Obviously within reason, because sometimes that can go a little in a different direction. But the point is, if she wants to do something for her future, allow her the opportunity to do that. Or just the same, if she wants to see the person that she's with focus more on his future instead of focusing all on her in the short term, maybe it's a good idea that for her, if not yourself, you get a life. Find something to do with yourself. You know, it's like that type of unselfishness and that type of representation. It was foreign in my head at the time. I didn't get that. And I want people to understand that, like, as I grow older and I understand that maybe some young people following me, this representation of what you see in front of you has a lot of growth to go to, but it'll come a long way in some very key areas. And maybe you might be ahead of me in those ways. Maybe you get that better than I did when I was younger. I see people my age so much more intelligent than I was at that time. And within this understanding and this experiences and all of this, I feel like I may be perceived as a finished project to some of these people, or as if I perceive myself as a finished project when I don't, just because I have a certain wisdom that comes with making a lot of mistakes and over a long period of time. Like, that's just what age does for you. It gives you the confidence in knowing that you've been through some things, that you can carry those things forward to not make those same mistakes again. It's not like we just came out the womb with all this understanding. Hell no, we had to bump our head a million times. And so as I come to understand that, I just try to share with people the understanding that as you grow older, you're going to go through the same thing. But for now, you ain't got to have it all together. You ain't got to be as sharp as you're going to be. And you certainly don't have to be as sharp as somebody who's been around the block a million times bumping their head. And so that's what I want to tell all the young people out there. Don't be impressed with a 40-year-old guy who knows how to tie his shoes. He should know how to tie his shoes with 40 years of experience. And so that's the type of thing I'm talking about. It's just, you know, I remember back in the day when I was younger, not understanding how people could be so diligent in seeing certain things or be as quick to catch certain jokes or whatever. Because I was so young, I didn't understand why my mom was so quick to be able to retort to certain things. It's like, because she's been around this block a million times. It's not that she would have got it when she was your age. She probably didn't get it no more than you do right now. But that she's lived provides her that understanding of know-how. And that's what age does for you. So I've come to understand some things now. It's like, that's some of the things that I've engaged in. I thought I was doing it for other people, but I was really doing it for myself. Some of the stuff that I thought was most important, it was only important because of how I was measuring things. It wasn't important for them. That wasn't a blessing for them. That was a blessing for me. Or so I thought. But the truth was, that wasn't a blessing for me either, because it represented me poorly when I did it in such a reckless or whatever impulsive way. And if you want to represent yourself well, you'll be more empathetic, because that's what people respect more. You'll be more calculated in how you operate, because that's what people respect more. You'll be cleaner about how you operate, considering their feelings and their perspectives better, because that's what people respect more. Not just that you have intentions and that you're willing to move however you want to move. So like, this is what growth is all about. And as I consider this era of my life and what's next, I want to display that growth in some key areas. And display an ability to understand what reflects positively upon me, as we often talk about in regards to different concepts. So, yeah, man, that's what I want to say, man. This is wisdom, growth, a representation of self that you can respect, giving people what it is that they need from you, not what it is that you feel you want to give them. You know what I mean? Like, there's a difference. There's a big difference. Maybe she, in an example that I can use, maybe she don't want to hear from you right now. Maybe you just need to tell her you love her, but maybe she needs some space for herself. As to which, if she gets that space, she'll be able to receive that better. She'll be able to give you energy that she can be appreciative of, instead of pushing you away like she's naturally going to do when she really don't need from you what it is you ultimately want to give her. Like, these are the type of things that we got to be honest about. So a lot of times we don't, you know, I speak for myself and maybe anybody who agrees. Sometimes we don't understand that. Of course you're going to appreciate these 7 dozen roses that I'm going to send her her doorstep. Except for the fact that she don't like roses, and maybe she don't want them things at her doorstep. Maybe she would appreciate something totally different, and she might have told you what it was, and you maybe weren't listening. You know, and that's what God was telling me in regards to these type of conversations as well last night as I was meditating on this type of thing. You listen. You listen, you keep your head up, and you listen. That's what came to me last night as I was pondering such concepts. You listen to people when they talk to you about what it is they appreciate and prefer. You listen to them when they talk to you about what it is that they don't. And then you cater your intentions around what it is that they've told you and what it is they've shown you. Because a lot of times if we move in a, what I call a copy and paste mannerism, a way of doing things, like this person, every woman likes this, every guy likes that. If you move in that way, you're probably going to find yourself doing something that someone doesn't appreciate very much, and end up representing yourself in a way that you don't appreciate very much in their eyes. So listening, staying attentive, not taking it personal, but taking that information as it comes your way as something that can help you give them what it is that ultimately reflects positively upon your reputation in their eyes. So that's the concepts, man. Concepts that are important. They save a marriage. These concepts that save your relationship. For real. Listen. Be attentive. Keep your head up. And remember that what's in your head may not be what's best for them. You know, in any type of urge situation involving imposing yourself on somebody else. You know, what feels good to you may not look good to them. May not feel good to them, may not be wired for their happiness. You know, may not be something that you welcome. Just because you think you look good in the mirror and you want to send somebody a picture, it doesn't necessarily mean they want to see you in that light. You know what I'm saying? Not to kill anybody's confidence, but if you listen, pay attention to what they tell you, then you will know what it is that ultimately you will be best for sharing. These are concepts that have to be adhered to in order to effectively accomplish what it is that we hope to accomplish when we look to make somebody happy with our efforts and our urges. So that's something that I think is important to say, man. You know, and look, as I told you guys a long time ago, in regards to trying to deal with the struggle that I was having last year with the Karen situation, for which has not been a struggle at all through prayer. You know, I'm not in that same space at all, and have since come to understand how selfish I was, and how much what I was doing wasn't received the way it should have been, because I was doing it for myself and not for her. As I've come to understand all of this a lot better, I just say to all of you guys that, you know, listening is a much better policy when dealing with people, rather than just moving in a way that makes you feel good. And you think it makes them feel good because that's what you have in your heart. But balance and filtering all of what it is that you have for them through the higher power. That was the key for me. Like, God, I have this in my heart I want to do. But I don't know that it's not something that's not good. I don't know that it's not something that won't be received well. Will you, in all of your graciousness and all of your honor, push me in a direction that allows for what it is that I have in my heart to first be filtered through you, so that when it reaches them, it'll do what it's intended to do. Or you can intercept and keep me from doing it entirely if it's not to be done. Like, that's what I've learned. You're filtered. And I've talked about this. We had a whole conversation about this a year ago. But that's the concept that came to me in prayer, and it's a concept I provide you in kind. Some stuff don't need to be done. Some stuff ain't for the betterment of the person at all. And maybe you can't see that through your norms, through your cultures, through what you were taught. You know what I mean? Through what you were shown, through what it is that you understand to be good. Maybe it's not wired for them to receive that, and maybe you don't want to give them what they don't want, but maybe you don't know that you're doing so. This is why we check in with the Lord on these type of things. Like, God, I want to say this, and this, but it ain't going to be received well, maybe. Will you please filter this thought, filter this action, filter this intention, filter everything I got for this person, so that when it finally comes out of the vessel that you created to reach them however it does, you will have your intended will be what comes out of me. That has done wonders for myself. That concept has done wonders for helping me in some very key areas, in communicating with other people, in controlling myself in regards to my own urges that will be imposed upon other people. It filters through my good intentions and poor execution. You know what I'm saying? And I think it'll work for you too, if you're a believer. So that's really what I want to say, man. That's the beauty of being a believer in God, man. You can do stuff like this. People who don't believe in God, they won't allow themselves to even venture into a space for which this is possible. But it is. The concepts that are possible. Filter things through Christ that are meant for other people's lives, that you have in your heart you want to do. And let them come out the right way. So that's a concept that came my way. I think it's a pleasant one. But, at the end of the day, I just want people to understand that I'm a growing person. I'm a work in progress. I have a lot of growing to do. There's a lot of things I didn't experience that I cheated myself out of by being isolated, by being insecure, by being without checking my mental health, so to speak, getting help for myself sooner. So it kept me from a lot of experiences that I think would have given me a lot more know-how in a lot of areas that I think are very important. But just the same, I gained some things from living that way and from being that way. It kept me out of some dark corners. It kept me out of some deteriorating circumstances as well. And it set me up to be a bit more pure in some areas than maybe a lot of people my age may be. I wasn't hanging out in certain places where a lot of things were, so I didn't experience a lot of things that ultimately would have taken me down a path that I shouldn't have been on. Path of no return, so to speak. I appreciate that. And, I may not appreciate the lack of experience, but I do appreciate having not gone down certain paths. So I take the good with the bad when it comes to my life, and I don't know what's ahead. So that's really what it's about. But, yeah, man. I know I have no business eating any Mexican food tonight. I do have an urge, so to speak, to eat poorly, and a desire to not wait on the food that needs to be eaten. But I've learned throughout the course of the last couple of weeks, as I told you in an earlier video, that I really can't eat like that right now. It has horrible effects upon my stomach. My body's rejecting a lot of good tasting seasoned food. And my Mexican food choice, it has something in there that my body's been rejecting the last 2 times, so it won't be a third, Third time is not going to be a charm for that, especially with what I got ahead. But just know that I'm battling that as we speak. I don't want to cook. I don't want to eat what I have to eat. But I'm pretty certain that if I eat what I want to eat, I'm going to be worse off for it. In a time where I can't afford that. So, that's the burden. But at the same time, it's the life. It's what we're doing. So, yeah, man, nothing's perfect, but just the same, it keeps me from eating foods that are probably making me worse off anyway, So I'll live with that. But, yeah, man, that's just really what it is, man. That's what it is. I got what I need. Now we're just going to represent my grandfather on Monday. And, and throughout the weekend. Of course, Sunday we go up there. Probably going to come pick me up at 10, so we'll probably arrive in Fresno somewhere around 3 o'clock, I think, on Sunday. Check into the hotel, maybe get something to eat or something. And then probably try to find ourselves back in the hotel to get some rest so that we can get up bright and early for the funeral. That's my hope. Especially since there's, there's no game on Sunday, so that should be cool. The game is on Monday, so that's after the funeral. We'll figure that out, but yeah, man, that's kind of what I think the plan is. Like, he's going to come around this area around 10 o'clock on Sunday. I don't think I'll see him tomorrow at all, but it will be incumbent upon me to pick up the suit somewhere around this hour right here. So, we'll just work it out. But very thankful, man. At the end of the day, I'm very thankful for my family. Very thankful that things timed out the way that it looks like it should. Very thankful to have, what I need to take care of the unit tonight. Pay these people as soon as I get in this office here. And it's a lot working out even through the struggles. I'm looking forward to the holidays with my uncle. Probably go over his house on Christmas Day, maybe watch the Christmas game there. That seems pretty likely right now. And just enjoy family, man. It is time for the family, and however that comes about in your life, you just gotta cherish the people that you love around you when they're there. Sometimes it may not be what you want to do or whatever. Although in this case, that's not the problem. But just saying in general, it may not be what you want to do in a given moment. But when you look back on it and you see that you had your people in your life at that moment, it becomes a situation where those memories are core memories a lot of times. Especially if you got good people. Not everybody has that. So if you do, all the more reason why you should appreciate those people, not when it's conveniences you, but whenever the Lord provides them an opportunity to be in your life. So that's what I want to tell people. Cherish mom and dad, cherish bro and sis, cherish all them people, man. You don't know when the Lord is going to punch anybody's ticket, yours or theirs or both of y'all's, who knows? You don't know. And as much as I like to think about the concept of heaven and hell, the reality is we really don't know. And if we are to believe in heaven and hell, then we got to understand that some people ain't going to heaven. Maybe you not. You know what I mean? So you got to really cherish people on earth. Cherish them now, man. Because you don't know who's going to make it to the pearly gates, man. Who had some secret dark past or some secret dark way of doing things. And maybe you don't even know about, and that's going to keep them out of heaven. You think you're going to see them there. They may not be there. It's a harsh thing for us believers to try to wrap our minds around, but not everybody who has evil ways behaves in evil ways toward us. Not everybody who has made it right with God always had it right with God, and they may need to pay what they need for what they did, even though they changed. That's a hard thing to consider, but it's true. That's why you got to appreciate people while you have them right now, and try to take care of home. That's what I'll tell you, to take care of home. Take care of yourself, take care of your responsibilities as a human being. Try to understand the concepts of trying to be better for others and for yourself. Because you don't know when people are going to have their ticket punched, and it can go a lot of different ways after that. So that's really what I'm here to say, man. Cherish your loved ones. Cherish your freedom. Freedom. It's another thing. When we talk about the concept of all these evil things that people are doing in the world, comeuppance is coming for a lot of people, man. People don't even know they're going to jail. They're going to spend the rest of their life in jail, fam. Some people are living lives like they're great people, but they didn't do awful things, man. And the way that this year has been set up, I can only imagine it's going to continue to reveal to us as we come into 25 more of the same. So I tell you, if you've been doing things you ain't got no business doing, you think you're getting away with it, take this word, cherish your freedom, because it may be fleeting, friend. BDO 44, I thank you all for watching. I'm out.